Okay, so let's take a look at Blackboard. Now, if your theme or colors are different than this, it's okay because the content is the same. So this is the 131 Blackboard site for this semester. As you can see, I've started with the announcements page. This is what you got the very first morning, January, first morning of class, sent this to you, reminding you to check out everything, especially everything over here on the left, which we'll look at in just a second. So important page, I'm going to send out emails that are also announcements. So if you accidentally delete an email, you can always come to this page and check and see what I said and what you needed to know. Now if you look over here on the left side, you've got announcements where we are, the enrollment verification quiz, which you need to take by January 17th at 11:59 p.m. to remain enrolled in the class. Welcome to History 131. We're going to look at that section in just a minute. It has your syllabus, a reading breakdown, which we're going to check out. It's got important due dates on it. This tutorial video, as well as the one for your syllabus that I hope you've watched already, and some other handouts. A special syllabus tab, which has yet another copy of the syllabus. Assignments, which we'll take a look at. That's everything broken down each week with all of the lecture videos, discussion boards, etc. in their own folder for each week. My instructor, which is the contact tab for me, where you can find my picture, some information about me, and my email address. Discussion board, which I would recommend going through the discussion board in each week under the assignments, because these are in alphabetical order, which of course, 3 comes before 1 in the alphabet. Or wait, no. Oh, that's not right. 3 and comes after 13 in the alphabet, right? So they're not in order. So I would take a look at everything just under each week in the assignments tab. Okay, so those are these guys over here. So let's take a look at Welcome to History 131. So here is where you'll find the video you're watching now, along with the syllabus video that you've probably already looked at, hopefully, fingers crossed. The syllabus, which we just went over in that other video. The reading breakdown. Now let's take a look at this. What the heck is a reading breakdown? Well, it's this. Okay, so this has everything that you need to know for this semester. Okay, it's our schedule basically. It's got important due dates, which we can also find in the assignments tab, which we will look at in a moment. It's got everything you need to read each week for the semester, and including the topics that we're going to talk about. So, important thing to know, Give Me Liberty is abbreviated as GML, Voices of Freedom as VOF, Blackboard as BB. So let's take a look. For example, week 1. Everything here is going to be due that first full week, okay? So by Friday, January 12th at 11:59 p.m. You will have read a letter of Christopher Columbus, First Description of the New World. And that is in Blackboard, and the instructions for that, remember that's a History Study Center document. The link will not work off campus. So you have to go to the library website and log in and go under Electronic Resources to History Study Center. Plug in Christopher Columbus, boom, First Description of the New World letter should show up. The instructions for that are in greater detail where that letter is in week 1 on Blackboard. Thomas Morton, Description of Natives, another primary document, and a MyMac Response to the French, another primary document. You also have lecture videos under week 1. So after viewing the lecture and reading these documents, you will answer that first discussion board. Okay, and as you can see, we've got GML and VOF. Every document is numbered in the table of contents for VOF, so those numbers correspond with the documents in that table of contents. Week 3, your Exam 1 study guide will be available on Blackboard because your exam will take place week 6. Week 4, so after your Exam 1 study guide is available in week 3, week 4 is when your first paper is due. You'll be watching A Midwife's Tale on Blackboard and completing the paper 1 assignment that goes with it. You have a short bit of GML, one document of VOF that need to go in that paper assignment as well. There are detailed instructions for that paper assignment in week 4 on Blackboard. So as you can see, it's very clear. Week 6, exam 1. You've got, for week 6, you've got some Give Me Liberty pages, some VOF, Voices of Freedom documents, and the first 2 Abigail Adams letters in the document through History Study Center on Blackboard. So as you can see, it just keeps going. And each week is very clear on what is expected of you in terms of what you need to read. Okay, the second paper is due week 14. Final exam is due at the end of the semester, May 4th. Okay, and that is actually, I believe, week 17, but we'll take a look at the assignments in just a second, and if I need to adjust that, I absolutely will. Alright, so let's get back to this. Here we are. Welcome to History 131. You've got a primary document checklist. This also appears under your introduction in the assignments tab. This is just a great checklist of questions to ask yourself as you're reading a document. These primary documents written by people in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries sometimes can be a bit confusing, and this is just a good thing to look at. You know, it asks questions like, well, what's missing from the document, right? Who's represented? Who isn't? Does this person have something to gain by writing about the events this way? It's important to take a look at multiple sources to form an opinion about the past, and this primary document checklist just offers you some guides on how to do that. The plagiarism handout I referenced in the syllabus video, so take a look at that if you have any questions or concerns about what is plagiarism. Active and passive voice. It's always good to write in the active voice. This is good for when you are writing discussion boards or papers, just on how to phrase things to make your writing more effective and impactful. Okay, so that is Welcome to History 131. Your syllabus tab has your syllabus and your student acknowledgement form, so be sure to take a look at both of those and submit your student acknowledgement form by that census date of January 17th. Now let's take a look at the assignments tab. Everything is laid out each week, and yes, there is a week 17. That is when your final exam is due. So I'll go back and change that reading breakdown to make sure that that reflects things properly. So let's look here. First day of class is January 5th. Here's another little welcome note from me, telling you to make sure to check out all the stuff in Welcome to History 131 that we just looked at, right? There's your primary document checklist, and here's a little introduce yourself discussion board. Now normally on the first day in class, you go into the classroom, you sit down, the instructor takes roll, you have some sort of little icebreaker where you talk about yourself, and you just go around the room and find out a little bit more about everybody in the class with you. This is our icebreaker activity. So make sure you go into that discussion board and you can submit just a little bit of information about yourself, right? You want to include things like your preferred name if it's different from your username on Blackboard, your major or degree path, and what you're most excited to learn about in the class. And then take some time to comment on at least 2 other students' posts. Right? Again, this takes place of an in-class discussion, so having an actual discussion with comments and everything is really going to help us get to know each other and ease us into the start of the semester. So back to assignments. First full week of class is January 1st, January 8th through the 12th. So you'll have a lecture, some short readings, and a discussion board. Everything is in here. Okay, so there's your lecture outline I was talking about in the syllabus video. It's got the key terms and a couple of discussion questions that are answered throughout the lecture. Everything on your exams comes from the key terms in that outline. There's your lecture notes, that's a script that I work from, and there's a lecture video. History Study Center, your Columbus letter is in here, okay? And here are those detailed instructions on how to access that, okay? So just a reminder, this will not work off campus. There are links in later weeks that say Document in History Study Center. If you click on it off campus, it won't open. So be sure you're following these instructions to get to that document. And 2 other documents for this week. Here's a short video on how to cite your sources for the discussion board, so make sure you take a look at that before you go down here and answer the discussion board for week 1, which, after talking about Native Americans and European society before contact, you're going to talk about those in your discussion board. So base your answer on readings and lecture, and explain how Native and European societies differed and how were they similar. Each discussion board needs to be at least 500 words, and it uses course material. Remember to refer to this video on how to cite that stuff, okay? Remember to comment on at least 2 other students' work after you submit yours. So this discussion post will be due by 11:59 p.m. on Friday of that week. That would be Friday, January 12th. So each week is self-contained like that, okay? And then underneath that main title, there's just a little bit of information if there's something going on that week. Now, because we are an online class, this Monday MLK holiday does not affect us. Everything will be normal. Week 2, things are still due Friday, etc. Week 4, that first paper is due. Week 6, that first exam is due. And it goes on throughout the semester. Okay? So pretty straightforward there. Now, if you go to the My Instructor tab, there's my picture. That was taken at a wedding, and it was before I had kids. So I look nice and well rested. Just a little bit about me. I'm excited about the class, guys. I love to, make baked goods. In fact, my 4-year-old and I just made banana bread yesterday, and I let her crack the eggs after she slammed the first one down on the counter. I explained we're a little bit more gentle with eggs than that, and she picked it right up. So I enjoy doing stuff like that. I'm a big nerd. I love shows like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. I go to conventions. Yeah, I'm that kind of dork. So that's a little bit about me, and there's my email address. And I'm excited for all the discussions we're going to have this semester. And then if you go to the top of Blackboard, you've got your 24/7 help desk. If you need anything, if you have an issue with Blackboard, you can go to the link here. There's a help website for you guys. There's a number you can call. Of course, you can always contact Jolt if you have any problems. So basically, that's it for Blackboard. Be sure to check out announcements. Be sure to check out everything over here. And of course, contact me if you have any questions at all about anything that I've talked about. And I look forward to a great semester with you guys. And check out this welcome video here in that first Welcome to History 131 announcement, because, you can actually see my face, and we'll chat a little bit about everything there. Be sure to complete that week 1 discussion board by Friday of week 1, right? By 11:59 p.m. And of course, once again, contact me if you have any questions. I'm looking forward to a great semester with you guys.